We're here to talk about the latest and greatest from Profoto, the B20 and B30 on-location strobe lights. As you can expect from Profoto, these lights are here to meet the many demands of commercial photographers in a 250 and 500 watt travel-friendly package. We took these along for a portrait shoot here in Brooklyn to put them to work, so let's go take a look. Okay, so like I mentioned, we have two lights in this release. We have the B20, which is a 250 watt, and the B30, which is a 500 watt. These two have really built upon Profoto's B10 range of lights and refined them for the industry professional. These lights now feature the 11 f-stop power range in the same 0.1 increments, so you can really dial in the perfect exposure every time. In comparison to the B10X, they have a 13% faster recycling time, with the B20 coming in at 1.2 seconds and the B30 at 2.1 seconds per full power flash, so you really can't miss the perfect shot. And during our shoot today, we really wanted to test out these fast recycle times as well as the super fast flash durations, especially in the freeze mode. So let's go see how we accomplish that. All right, so we're gonna talk about high-speed sync. We're using that to capture motion, and especially where we have the apartment that has a bit of ambient light that we want to kind of darken that a little bit, so we need to up the shutter speed. So the high-speed sync allows us to use any shutter speed that we want, even when using the strobes, which usually you have to use something like 1/200th of a second if you're using it in the normal modes. So we're using high-speed sync here to really capture the motion of our dancer as she's jumping, as you can see. So we've got two lights here. They're both at about half speed. And the reason for that is because, well, one, we didn't need them at full power, but also because when you have them at the full power, they're not going to have a fast enough recycle time or a fast enough flash duration to really capture the motion. You're not gonna be able to shoot a bunch of frames per second to get the motion that we want. So we have them at about half power, and we alternated between having a gel on one of the lights to kind of give it a hint of gold on the model's face as she's jumping. Right now we're shooting at 1,000th of a second, f4, and our ISO is at 2500. So that's basically gonna quiet down the additional ambient light that we're having through the windows here while still being able to see a little bit of the outside world as well. Another major improvement here is the continuous modeling light, which now has over 50% higher output than the B10X's with a 40 watt bicolor LED light for both, making them more versatile for the hybrid shooter. We're actually currently using it as a hair light behind me, which you can see, and we're also using it behind the camera as sort of a bounce light, which is pretty cool. They also brought back the 3.5mm Synch Port, which is especially helpful to integrate them seamlessly into any studio setup. Because of this, we were actually able to easily incorporate a film camera into our setup via PC sync cord for flash, or you could use the continuous light if that's more your jam. This was a really fun change of pace from digital shooting that we don't usually get to do with strobes. From a sustainability perspective, I also loved how these come with a user exchangeable flash tube that can be easily replaced even on set, which helps future-proof your gear. So we've been shooting with these lights all day here, and although we are inside, as you can see, we're in a location that is as charming as it is vintage. So occasionally when you're shooting in a more old school location, you can't really bank on super convenient power outlets, which is another reason why having a battery powered light is so important. They also have a great power to size ratio, coming in at 4.3 pounds for the B20 and 4.8 pounds for the B30, which means that I could really place them anywhere I wanted without being too worried about safety issues. And they carry a decent charge as well, with 400 full power flashes for the B20 and 220 for the B30. We shot with it all day, usually at about half power, switching between the eco mode for the more stationary portraits, and then we used freeze mode when we really wanted to capture some fast movement. After shooting pretty continuously for about an hour with the freeze mode, we did need to pop them onto AC power, but in no time they were ready to go battery powered again for some garden portraits. But what's your favorite new feature of the Profoto B30 and B20? Let us know in the comments below. I'm Sam with B&H, and I'll see you next time.